comparison. And so trying to get young ladies and young women to understand that on social media, you're just seeing the best part of people's lives. So learning how to not compare ourselves will give us that healthy self-confidence that we need. And then also surrounding yourself around people who do not constantly critique you. So if you find that your best friend is always critiquing you, always telling you something negative, then you actually don't have that self-confidence, and it's not your friend's fault. It's your fault because you don't value yourself enough to realize this is not a healthy environment for me to be in. So also looking at your circle, looking at what you are looking at on social media and not comparing yourself to others. And then, of course, training your mind. I do believe in a word when God continuously tell us to retrain our minds, train your thoughts, because our thoughts is what give us that confidence, or it can actually tear us down, our own selves. So making sure that we are training our thoughts by watching things, being around things, being part of things that are positive, that would increase our self-confidence versus attacking our self-confidence.
Absolutely. You said a mouthful there, because all of those things are so very, very important. And I like the fact that you mentioned the consistent critiquing, because as women and even young girls, it started at such an early age, we start to critique ourselves, and we critique ourselves against this unreachable standard that is portrayed. So that is very, very good. And I love what you said about what you're listening to in your thoughts and renewing your mind, because I believe in that as well. So for a girl who's struggling to build her self-confidence, where do you think she should start?
For me, I started with having a support system. I have 3 women. They're all 10 years older than me. And they surrounded me to give me that confidence, to give me that motivation, to actually train me on how to become who I am today. So I do believe you have to have accountability. Accountability partner should be the start, because because every day you're not going to feel your best. Every day you're going to find something about you that you don't like. But if you have an accountability partner, that person can pour into you and to remind you of who you are until you get to that place of knowing your value and your worth. So I first believe is having an accountability partner. And then after that, you have to actually face I call them ashes, but face your insecurities. A lot of us tend to hide from it, or we tuck it in our back pocket and act like it doesn't exist. But when we're alone at night, all the memories come up. So facing those insecurities, if they started when you were 3 years old, you have to go back to when you were 3 years old. If it started with your parents, you have to face those fears in order to get over. You cannot ignore them. You cannot throw them out the window. None of those things are a true mechanism of finding your self-confidence if you're struggling with it. When it comes to mine was born with a cleft lip and palate, which is a birth defect that affects, of course, your face. So your nose will look crooked. You don't have a roof on top of your mouth. Your jaw is split into 2. And I never knew until I was probably almost 30 years old that's where I needed to go all the way back to. I needed to go all the way back to birth and face my fears and face the fact that it's okay, Alexia, that you were born with this birth defect, that you are beautiful even with the birth defect. So having that support system, but also being able to face your insecurities, no matter how ugly it looks to you or to other people.
Absolutely. So when it comes to, you mentioned the retraining your mind and your thoughts. So how did you go about retraining your thoughts?
One, I believe in affirmations now. And that's literally every morning speaking and pouring love to yourself. And I know people think it's kind of weird. Why would I sit in a mirror and be like, oh, I love you, Alexia. Alexia, you are worth more than, you are more precious than, people think that stuff is fake, or they think it's just for therapy. And it's no, when you do that consistently, and when you tell yourself that it is okay for me to tell myself that I'm beautiful, that I'm worthy, and you look, I do believe in Christianity and I believe in the Bible. And if you look at everything that God tells you that you are and you start repeating those things, that is the first step into retraining your mind, renewing your mind to think of things that are beautiful, worth thinking about, worth praise. God was not trying to tell us to be conceited or to be vain. He was telling us, hey, I need you to think of things that are good, things that are trustworthy. Think of those things. And I believe when we start doing that and we start speaking it into existence, that is how we begin to renew our minds constantly every day. And I do believe, like, it was profound that God said, renew your mind every day, not once a week, not once a month. He's saying every day, wake up and renew your mind. And that is something that is so important, especially in our generation, for us to continue to speak positive over our lives versus speaking death over our lives.
Absolutely. So if you were to give just some your best sound advice to a girl who's struggling right now with building her self-confidence, what would you say to her?
One, I would tell her that she's not alone, that even the most beautiful woman that she believes or has it all together, that woman most likely is struggling as well. Like, all of us as women, we all have insecurities. We all battle with low self-esteem. This is not just for certain people. All of us have it. And so first, I would make sure that she knows she is not alone. Like, we all have this insecurity inside of us. However, just like all these other women, she can get through it as well. She can face her fears. She can learn to love herself over again. Even if she's 18, 20, 30, 40, you can relearn to love yourself again. And that with the help of God and your support system, you will learn your worth. You will learn that you're more precious than rubies. You will learn that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. But you have to take that step in wanting to learn about yourself more and wanting to love yourself more to build yourself up.
Absolutely. Very good. And in terms to just setting your goals and reaching your goals, to what degree do you believe self-confidence plays a part in it?
I believe it plays a big role. When you don't have that self-confidence and you don't know your worth, you tend to belittle yourself and you tend to not think that you're capable of achieving things that is aligned to your purpose. When I think about my own self, I struggled with self-confidence and I struggled with self-esteem to the point that I was okay with being in the behind the scenes. Meaning, like, I would train people to be speakers. I would literally do the workshop when I'm training you how to speak on the stage, but I would never get on the stage. Or I would train people on how to perform, but I would never perform. And it was crazy that I kept putting people in the front. I would give them the mic. I would teach them how to look, how to stand. I'm like behind the camera showing them what to do. I would go to photo shoots showing models how to model, but I myself would not get in front of the camera. And that was because I lacked self-confidence. So I kept building everyone else up and not myself. And then I went through a transition, a transformation, and I had a pastor that said, Alexia, I think it's time for you to get on the mic. Like, you have so much wisdom. You have so much that you can give to these young women. I need you to get on the mic. And at first I was scared. I cried before each event that I had to speak at because, again, I was just very nervous. I just didn't think that I was worthy enough to speak, like, or to be in front of a camera. But once I realized my worth, and once God gave me that confidence that He's with me the whole time, that I don't have to worry about anything, I started to build myself. And that is how Beauty for Ashes became. It started in Africa with 100 little girls, and one of my missionary leaders was like, hey, I want you to speak. And I was like, that's not what I do. I'm behind the scene. But she pushed me as well. And that's where Beauty for Ashes was born. It was born out of fear, but then it was born out of transformation, where God was transforming me from being behind the scene to being actually up front. So it's all about that self-confidence and knowing your worth.
So when you decided to really transition and to step out there, what steps did you take and as far as reaching your goal? When you set a goal and your particular goal, what steps did you take to reach that goal?
For me, because it was 30 years of being in fear, one, I did go to therapy, and my therapist, who is my coach, she helped me. She made me like write and journal. I also learned that I can travel on my own. So I travel, and when I went and traveled, I did meditation to renew my mind, to retrain my thought process. I also, like I said, got a support system together, a group of women that held me accountable. I showed them the vision that God gave me for Beauty for Ashes. And these women, they just held me accountable, and they pushed me. Even when I didn't want to continue, they continued to push me to birth the business that I have today. So I believe the steps would be first, again, face your own insecurities. And then after you face those insecurities, have that support system to hold you accountable of never going backwards. And I think with that, with a great circle of family and friends, you should be able to accomplish your dreams.
Absolutely. And most of the times when we're going after our dreams or trying to reach our goals, we encounter obstacles or things that kind of throw us off track, or maybe some type of fear pops up. So how did you deal with the obstacles and the fears that you faced while you were working on your project?
One thing that I did before I released Beauty for Ashes back in 2018, I actually got off social media for an entire year. That was one of the things that I had to do because I had an issue with comparing myself to others. And so for me to actually execute the business for Beauty for Ashes and to write the book and to start going on mission trips and bringing women with me on mission trips, I had to eliminate certain things. So one thing was social media for a whole year, so that wouldn't be one of the causes of my setbacks. But when I did go through setbacks, when I did go through my mindset, having to renew my mindset, or forgetting my worth, or going through anxiety and being anxious, those are the times that I had to lean on my affirmations, and I had to lean on my support system. Because like I tell people, what you guys see as the image, as the end result, it took a long time to get to that person. Like that person that you guys see on the pictures on the book, it took a long time to get to her. So I don't want people to think just because it looks like I made it, that I made it. No, I still today would deal with certain insecurities, with certain negative thoughts, but I have to remember my process. I have to remember to do the things that I love. I have to remember to get out of the bed on the weekends. I have to continue to renew my mind over and over to fight against those hardships that comes during the time that you're trying to build yourself, because it's not going to be easy. And it's not like the world is going to stop and everything's going to be sunshine. That's not realistic. But you have to put things in place to train you to fight against it every time it comes.
Yeah. I remember just growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money during the summer, they didn't really have a lot of money to put me in different things, or, I didn't go to camps or things like that. So I spent a lot of time just idle at home, really with nothing to do. And we see a lot of that sometimes with the girls that we mentor and that we work with. What are some tips that you can give to them on basically how they can use their time productively this summer if they're not in any other activities or they don't feel like they have anything to do? What are some things that they can do to still be productive?
They can find things they like at home. There are some things like you can go outside. Like if you are a dancer, I speak on a dancer, you can turn on music and you can choreograph. You don't have to just wait for someone to come and teach you how to do routines. Learn, like get on YouTube, learn things, learn craft, learn how to make craft, learn how to write, journal. Learn how to paint. That's one thing that I did for a whole summer. I just painted. I got canvas, I got paint. I was never trained, and I just learned how to paint. So find something that you love, even if it's cooking and your parents are okay with you using their kitchen. Learn how to cook dishes. Like it's so many things that we can do at home that can build our craft and build our purpose, that we think that we have to go and get somebody to pay us to do, or pay someone else to do it. When some of this stuff you can actually learn on your own. Like stay busy. Don't sit and look at YouTube, or look at social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Don't sit and do that for 8 hours and hours a day. Talk to your family, like build that communication skill. But I would say one thing is do not just sit on social media scrolling because that's not going to build your craft. And if your craft is something dealing with the social media platform, that's beautiful. Then that means you should be posting. That means you should be learning from someone else on social media to copy or to learn from their craft. So like if you're going to be on social media, have a purpose for it. Like don't just be on it. Find your purpose. For why am I on here? What can I give to the people that are watching my timeline? What can they give to me versus just being on there just to be idle?
So, and how important is, when I was 13, 11, 12, people say, oh, you got all the time in the world. You got time to do this. You have time to do that. How important do you think it is for young girls today to start managing their time effectively now at an early age?
Man, that's a tough question. Because we do get caught up, our generation do get caught up telling our students and telling our kids, where you got time? When really they could be like learning their purpose now. Like they can start now. It's never too early or too late to start working on your craft and enhancing your talent and your gift. And like I said, I know we all say that. We are all very guilty of telling our little ones, you got time, like don't try to rush. But really, and especially during this COVID-19, this is probably the best time to learn your craft and to enhance it and equip it and create a purpose behind it. So I would say it's actually, I think now is the perfect time for students or for children to start working on their craft.
And so we focus in leadership, we focus a lot on communication skills and understanding your vision, because where are you going if you don't have a vision? So when you start thinking in terms of your vision for your project, what inspired you the most?
I think I would say all the women, the young ladies that I'm connected to. I believe they inspired me the most. When I went through my transformation, I was still in leadership role. I was still very much had a whole group of women following me. And they saw me go through my transformation. And I'm sure at some points they probably wonder, is my mentor going to get out of this? Like, is she going to make it? And I made it. And they saw that happen. And they realized when they started going through their issues and through their hardship that if Alexia can make it through all of the stuff that she went through, then I can make it. And I think from that point on, they became my vision, my inspiration that, okay, like people need you to make it. People need your story. So you can't hide your story. You can't hide behind your makeup. Like you gotta be willing to share your story because someone can get healed by your healing. So they are my main inspiration and like why I set the vision to serve women and young women around the world, not just in Memphis.
That your story is so inspiring. I can relate to it in so many different ways. And I believe that a lot of the girls listening today can relate to that. So it's very important we as women reach back to uplift the upcoming and the next generation, especially those who don't necessarily have a mentor or someone to look up to give them some positive energy. So thank you for your contribution to young women around the world. Thank you for your contribution today. This has made a difference in the life of some young girl who's aspiring or who's dealing with some insecurities and wants to do something great but doesn't know where to start. So do you have anything you want to leave the girls with today?
I guess like to continue to stay connected to you girls. I love mentorship programs because they really do touch and change the lives of our young ladies growing up. So my thing is stay connected to your mentors, lean on your mentors, be transparent with them. Don't try to hide behind a mask, but be able to actually share your life, like share life with that person. Even when your mentor makes you upset, stay connected to your mentor because you will see at the end how their correction helped to build you. And years later, when you're 30 years old, you be able to look back and say, yeah, my battle buddy was my mentor. So that's my main thing is stay connected to your mentors and be transparent and share your life with
them. Jesse, you got anything to add, Jess?
I think she's done an awesome job. I think I've even gained some tips today from her.
Oh, yes, I've been taking notes.
She like talking in my ear. Unintentionally. But I think it's awesome. I think the most important thing she hit on is like your insecurities. Like you can't address something like now. I'm at the age I'm at. I can't address it now. I gotta go way back from whenever I started feeling these emotions and things. I gotta go back to the root of it. And like is a quote I've heard or something of that sort. If you don't address it, address the origin of it, it's gonna eventually pop back up. So if you keep trying to mask it, keep trying to tuck it away and not go to the origin of it, it's gonna eventually come back up. 5 years and that maybe 2 days from now. But until we dig deep in those insecurities, then it's gonna continue to happen. And I can say that for myself, like dealing with my own challenges and my own goals, and the biggest thing that plays a part is not having that self-confidence, whatever insecurity or feeling like I can't do it or comparing myself to others or feeling like I couldn't do it. It's because I didn't address the insecurities that were either 5 years back, 10 years back, or a few months back. If you address those, like you're gonna continue to meet those challenges. Also, staying close to your mentors. To this day, I probably talk to my mentors, if not often. When I'm at home, I, stop and talk to them and visit them. They have been a huge part in the person that I've become. And all of them are not even female. Some of them are men, some of them are female. Some of them are people that I grew up around. Just having that adult and then guidance, really helped me a lot. One of my particular biggest mentors is my softball coach. Like a second dad to me. And I remember when he was playing softball, I wanted to play third base. He wanted me to play shortstop, and I couldn't see the vision that he had for me, but I was so headstrong and not seeing it that eventually I was like, okay, I see it now. But we had a conversation about it, but just knowing that throughout life, like he's still, like if I need advice, if I need anything when it comes to guidance, I know that I can go to him. He's gonna give it to me straight out, and he's gonna tell me. So just having those mentors, they've played a huge part in my life. My parents are awesome. They've done a great job at raising me, but I feel like when they say it takes a village, they literally put me in a position to where I was around a group of people unintentionally that catered to what my parents would have wanted out of me. So it's played a detrimental part. I feel like our girls would definitely benefit from this session today. I mean, I would definitely love to do another one. I feel like we touched on some key things, like I said, not being on social media, really like loving yourself and putting yourself around people who support you, who gonna push you. Because if your friends don't push you, the people around you, then you're wrong around people. If you know you're setting goals and things in life for yourself and you want to do better, you need people that are going to support you, the people are going to push you, who want to see the best out of you. Like I said, you might bump heads some days, you might disagree.
Yeah.
But you know they come from a loving place and somebody only want the best for you. You can't want any better than that. I catch myself slipping some days and yeah, we have to check me some days, but I know it comes from a good place, so it just motivates me. I just, like I said, I've loved and enjoyed our session today.
All right. All right. Anything you want to add, Ms. Ida?
I really enjoyed this session. It made me reflect inside myself about, you know, my daughter being murdered and having confidence to get out and reach young girls to help them make better decisions. And when you say renewing your mind every day, you know, that just touched me because now I'm going to get up and say, I can do it every day. I'm going to get up and say, I'm going to renew my mind every day. And having that support, you know, my pastor and my first lady, they are real support people for me and my husband. And, you know, just having that around you is really, really important. So I am just so glad. I want you to come back and talk to us again.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to fit into her schedule. We gonna get her again one way.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alexia. And our message for our girls today is listening that you're not alone. If you feel like you're alone, you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, please reach out to us, www.yougirlincorporated.org. Please feel free to contact us anytime. You can inbox us on Facebook. We want you to know that you are not the only one going through what you're going through. It's a support system here available for you. Don't try to do it yourself. We all need somebody. We cannot do this life walk alone. You're going to need somebody to come alongside you, and we love to come alongside you and support you. Thank you so much, Ms. Alexia Young. You have just filled us with so much knowledge and wisdom today. Thank you for joining us as our guest panelists, and thank you for all of our visitors and all of our viewers who are watching with us today. We hope to see you at our next session. Remember to look out for those prizes and for those gifts we're going to be giving out, so tune out and find out how you can win. Ms. Alexia, would you like to say anything to close us out?
Thank you guys for inviting me. And again, hopefully I will see you guys again. Hopefully you guys will come out to one of my events and actually speak. So thank you guys.
So Ms. Jennifer, can you repeat what those gifts going to be, those prizes? I think you did that the last session, not this one. Did you tell everybody what it was?
We're going to announce them on our next session. We'll announce what our giveaway and our free outing that we're going to give away. So they have to tune in next session to learn what it is. Thank you guys. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed evening. We hope to see you at our next session, which will be in 2 weeks. Thank you. All right, you did such a great job.
Good girl.
I loved it. Girl, I wanted to act